Okay, everybody. We are live. How's everybody doing? I got a notification that says Jason Quinn Zen is live. Well, welcome everyone to the Everyday Zen live stream. I believe I did this 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure how often I will be doing these, but it seems like right now it's every other week, but we'll see how that goes as well. Anyways, if you are here, let us know in the chat where you are living. This is a good chance to hang out, share some teachings. If you have any questions about anything, Zen, meditation, your practice, any kind of question, it's okay. Anything's possible. All right, let's see who's in the chat. I'm going to guess Cesare was the first one to chime in on the chat. Let me see. Cesare, there we go, at 11:21 a.m. So that would be 41 minutes ago. I'm not very good at math. Cesare, hello there, everyone. As last time, staying for 20 to 30 minutes, then sleep. How are you all doing? Well, so far, okay. What time is it over there, Cesare? Is that 9 p.m.? Hashim is here. Hello, Hashim. Very good to see you again. Glad you're here. It was nice to catch up with you the other day. Cesare is saying it was 2 weeks ago. Right, 2 weeks ago. Boy, that flew by really fast. Time will not wait for you. Let's see. Who else? Mr. Jet Mango is here. Hey, hi all. Good to see you again. Glad you are here. SS Talks is here. How are you, Jason? From India. Pretty good so far, I'd have to say. Thank you for asking. SS Talks. What does the SS stand for? I have two guesses. All right, Cesare, it is 9:03 p.m. So it's late for you. It's early for me. It's 12:04 p.m. here in the afternoon, doing a Thursday live stream. I'm not sure when I announced this stream. When was that? I think maybe on Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, something like that. I got to get more proactive in letting people know that I'm doing this. Of course, I used to do the live streams. Let me center that a little bit. I used to do the live streams every week at Thursday at this time. And then I didn't do them for a month or so. We did do the 24-hour live stream, which I may do again. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm not really letting people know. I know I make the event in YouTube, and then I'm not sure if people are notified or not. Anyways, if you haven't already, let us know in the chat where you are living. SS doesn't mean anything. It's random. I'm Salman. Well, good to know your name. I know there's a lot of YouTube names here that I really don't know. But when I first saw SS Talks, I think I saw this maybe on a comment of one of my videos. I was thinking Sung Song Talks, but I guess I was wrong. It's random. All right. Jana's here. Hey, Jana, how's it going? Hi, Jason. Thank you for your channel. You're welcome. Definitely. Let's see. I would like to ask how to do work that one does not like and is stressful, requires a lot of online work. I hope this question makes sense. Well, I do a lot of online work. Sometimes I like it and sometimes I don't. So you may often hear me talk about direction. Why are we doing something? Is it just for me or is it for everybody? Which includes me because I am not separate from everyone else. So, some people may work to get recognition, to be noticed. Some people work only to get money. Of course, we all need money to function. Some people do their work to help others. So this is what we mean by direction. And if we're just doing something for ourselves or some kind of personal gain, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the natural result is dissatisfaction. We will be dissatisfied. And you don't have to believe that. We can see for ourselves. Just pay attention to your own life. Because anything we do in our lives, no matter if it's a job, if it's a relationship, vocation, a hobby, there's going to be things we like about it and things we don't like about it. That's just the way it is. Our human being condition has likes and dislikes. And sometimes this like and dislike mind controls the show. So if our direction is clear, that it's not just for myself, it's for all beings, then it's not about like and dislike so much. So I don't have really enough information to answer you in detail, but I do hope that helps. So you say, I hope my question makes sense. I hope my response makes sense. Cesare, I get notified quite late. I think yesterday or today. Yeah, I'm not sure how the whole YouTube algorithm works, to be honest. I think I created this live stream on Tuesday, maybe. Today's Thursday. I don't know how it works. But people are here, so thank you for that. Anyways, if you haven't already, let us know in the chat where you are living. Oh, hey, it's the Lady Highway Woman. Hey, Jason, just at work. Going to have to catch up with this later. Good. Very happy to see you again. I realized, too, that many people, not all of us, there's a few of us, I see one in here, who are in the United States, especially in the West Coast, where I'm at. It's 12:09 p.m., so most people are working, so they may not be here at this live stream. I got to keep remembering that. Okay, Helena's here. Hey, Helena, very wonderful to see you. Helena says hello to everyone. By the way, I usually read everything in the chat because I believe this is streaming on YouTube and streaming on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you're not going to be able to see any of the chat that's happening in YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, you're not going to see anything that's happening on Facebook. So that's why I read the chat. All right. So Mr. Jet Mango's saying hi to everybody. Oh, already got that. Sorry. Let me catch up here. Michael's here. Hey, Michael. Good afternoon. Mike, I'm glad we got that that coaching software thing set up. They changed everything since I did it in the past. So I just had to tweak a couple things. I like it, actually. We can talk about it more later. Kevin's here. Hey, Kevin, good to see you. Hi, everyone living in Berkeley. Kevin, are you sitting the retreat coming up at Empty Gate Zen Center? I will be doing a retreat for Empty Gate Zen Center next month. When is that? We're in September, October 26th. So I won't be in person in Berkeley. I'll actually be at the Boise location for that. So there will be people practicing in Boise. There will be people practicing in Berkeley, and then people online. That retreat is a one-day retreat, and mostly it's sitting meditation and walking meditation. I will be giving consultations, one-on-one consultations and call-in interviews throughout that retreat. So anyways, Kevin, I was just curious if you're going in September. I believe, yeah, Jeff is leading that one. When is that? Next week? Next weekend? Not this weekend. Yeah, next weekend. Huh. Zen Master Bong Sung's birthday is on that Sunday. We're going to have to work on that one. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome to the Everyday Zen Livestream. If you haven't already, let us know in the chat where you are living. Also, if you have any questions about Zen, meditation, your practice, life, any kind of question, you can put it in the chat. Oh, Mr. Jetmingo. Okay. You have quite a long thing here, so I'm going to take my time and read this carefully. Dear Jason, we talk about not chasing after our desires. But did you not desire your wife before she became your wife? Could you talk a bit on choosing family or relationships as a Zen practitioner? Okay, that's question one. All right, we'll talk about that first. Did you see my video? It's called 11 Years as a Monk. I believe that's what it's called. Check that out. I talk about this a little bit, at least by the choosing family or relationships. I don't think I chose family. I think family chose me, which means the situation and karma came together. But let's talk about desire. I do have some videos about that. I think it's time to update that one, though. I can't remember when I posted that. But, you know, in Buddhism, you'll hear about the 5 desires. Money, sleep, fame, and fame doesn't mean like to be famous, this recognition. We talked about this a little bit earlier. What did I do? Money, sleep, fame, food, and sex. So 5 desires. And usually these desires are controlling human beings. In itself, these 5 desires are not good and not bad. Now, this is kind of Buddhist style teaching, or maybe Zen style teaching, right? Sometimes you think that desires are bad. If I have desires, then I make bad karma. But in Zen practice, we don't make good, we don't make bad. Most important is how can I help? So usually, like I mentioned earlier, human beings are grasping at these 5 desires, at least one of them. Okay? Grasping is not good or bad. It just has a natural result, and that result is dissatisfaction. If I get what I want, I'm happy. But guess what? You can't keep anything in this life, not even your own body. If you don't get what you want, you're dissatisfied. Or maybe you get what you want and it's not enough. You want more. Got to have more. Or maybe I want it to be different, right? So this is called attachment or grasping or holding desires. And usually we're doing that because we don't understand ourselves. We don't understand this I. So that's why people investigate some kind of spiritual practice. So in Zen practice, we emphasize the experience before desire, the experience before the concept of I, the experience before thinking. How do you experience the mind before thinking? At that moment, there was no I, there was no you, there was no desire, there was no like and dislike, there was no right and wrong. It was the experience before thinking. My mind, the stick, your mind, the sound. Only one point. So there's many names for that point: before thinking, your true self, enlightenment, the absolute. There's many names for that, but it doesn't have name because it's before name. So this is really important. Then we take another step. We don't even stay at that place. The Buddha didn't stay at that place either. So you have but a body, you have thinking, you have feeling. How can you use that to help this world? Desires are not good, not bad. How do you use these 5 things to help? That's really important. And the only way to really navigate through this is to experience it. So Zen really emphasizes your own experience. My words have no meaning. I mean, hopefully they'll inspire us to practice. So if we're looking at relationships, usually relationships means I want something to make me satisfied. And if I don't get it, I'm not satisfied. That is the definition of suffering. But relationships don't have to be that way. They can be, how can I help? So Zen Master Sung Song would often encourage students in the early days either to become a monk or nun, so a monastic, or to get married. Right? Because you can't just follow your own karma or your own idea or your own desires, because you'll bump into people. When we live with other people, practice with other people, we see our mind very clearly. It's reflected back to us. We can see everything that we're holding, checking, wanting, judging. And when we can see that clearly, then we can let go, or better, maybe it's better to say, just not touch it. Because you can't get rid of thinking, but you don't have to touch it. So that means it won't control you. Okay. All right. Question 2. If I feel, so already that's interesting, a strong push towards someone, and I realize this person is not entirely healthy, Should I try to mingle together with that person so that we can transform this karma? Again, what do you want? I think connecting with people is good, when behind it is, how can I help? But it's not, how can I help in my head, because that will get us into a lot of trouble. I'll make a video about that. Okay. How can I help from our gut? So if your energy is not strong and your direction's not clear, then we can't help anybody. So it's best to maybe stay away. And there's a saying, if you want to save this world, save yourself, because we realize that ourself and this world are not separate. So we don't go on retreats and go to the meditation center to escape this life. We're looking into this life very closely. Okay? We should not attach to anything that manifests in our mind. Yet I feel a strong pull towards this person. I do not attach, then I will never do anything to check this out, because I'll ignore every sign of what can be a potentially meaning relationship. So just why check yourself so much? You know, I think most people learn through our experience. So maybe you're not clear of why. Maybe your direction is not clear. So just pay attention. Everything we do and say has a natural result. If intuitively something feels right, follow that. You know, the only way to really trust intuition is to trust intuition. But sometimes it may be a strong desire that we're following, but we learn from that experience. I've done that many times. Okay. So just pay attention, be honest. Don't make anything in your mind. Behind everything we do or say is, how can I help? So do it. See what happens. Then that experience will become wisdom. Okay, everyone. I'm not leaving. I just wanted to say welcome to the Everyday Zen live stream. If you're just joining us, let us know in the chat where you are living. Also, if you have any questions about Zen, meditation, your practice, any kind of question, you can put it in the chat below. Yeah, Cesare, going to ask a bad question just for seeing the world burn. When are you going to write the next book? Or maybe I might write one in the future. Well, I think you just answered your question. I don't know how many people know this. First of all, I don't know how many people know that I have a book. It's called No Nonsense Zen for Beginners. Have you read that book? I think in most of my videos, I put a link in the description if you want to check it out. But it was like 6 months after that book came out, the publisher asked me if I wanted to write another one. And I said, no, never again. So there you go. Mr. Jet Mango, question 3. I'll soon move back to Ireland. I'll stay for a few months with my best friend and her partner. He doesn't like me too much. He doesn't like me too much. Okay. He's drinking quite often and I'm not. She isn't able to convince him to stop. I permanently quit using alcohol. What would be your advice for this situation so that my presence could be beneficial for them? Thank you so much. So again, behind everything we do or say is, how can I help? From our gut. What's happening in this moment? How can I help? And pay attention. Use your intuition to know what to do. Because I don't know what you should do. Nobody here knows what you should do. The Buddha doesn't know. Zen masters don't know. Nobody knows. I mean, most people don't know what they're doing, right? So the only way to know what to do in any kind of situation is to wake up. And become intimate with the moment. And as the moment is arising, we are responding with it. You know, almost every other animal, almost everything in this world can do that. Right? The snow melts, the air gets warm, flowers start to bud, the grass starts to turn green, the bugs start to come out. How do they know to do that? They're not having meetings or thinking about, hey, should I go outside? It's not 69 degrees yet. They're not thinking any of these kind of things. They're responding to the moment as it's arising. We also have that same capability, but our problem is we're holding something in our mind. So we need to let go. Let go means just don't touch anything in your mind. Let your mind do its job. Don't forget your job. What is your job? What's happening right now in this moment? And how can I respond? So for my case, I'm sitting here in this office on a chair answering your question. Okay, that's the best thing you can do. All right, Kevin. Hi, Jason. Would like to go to retreat. Thanks for asking. I've been disabled for the last 1.5 months, barely hobbling around after a friend's invitation to a new martial art. Ooh, I'm sure there's a story there. So maybe the online retreat might be more appropriate. I'm finding I can sit on a chair. Perfect. But shooting pain often interrupts ordinary meditation experience. New to this pain element, frustrating. Yeah, this pain is very frustrating. And it's also your teacher because it's showing you about the situation. It's teaching you your relationship to the situation. And then it's teaching you on how to respond. So sitting in a chair is not a problem. I've sat many 3-month retreats and people sat in chairs. One person I remember lied down the whole 3 months on the floor. And then when it hurt, when they were lying down, they stood up. So that's okay. So yeah, joining online is no problem. And you can come and go as needed. But yeah, there's always something you can work on. If you want to talk about it more, we can later. If you want to do a one-on-one, that's what I mean. John, hey, you guys, what did I miss? That's a good question. Christy's here. Hey, Christy. Why was I just thinking of you the other day? Maybe it was I think I ran into our video when we did the interview together. Do you remember that? I think that's still on my YouTube channel. I had a series called, does anybody remember what it was called? I was talking to people who practice meditation and how they got into practice, what inspires them to practice, how practice has helped their lives. I think it was called Zen in Everyday Lives. Does that sound right? Anyways, Christy, I'm happy to see you. Michael, I read an interesting article that most people know their day is ruined by 8:30 a.m. A single setback in the morning or overnight is enough to ruin a whole day for people. I believe that. I've had that happen. But you know what's interesting is it's not the setback or the thing that caused the day to be ruined. It was our own mind. Looks like when I hit the table, my camera moved. That's interesting, right? Because we hold something and then now we created a filter for the moment. And our whole day, we're seeing the world through this filter. But boy, 8:30 is pretty early though. I mean, I get up at 5:30. That's only 3 hours. So yeah, anytime that you feel stuck, just pause, take a deep breath through the nose, breathe out through your nose twice as long. Just listen, just see, then just do it. It's that simple. But mind has habit. So that's why I recommend practicing meditation and not just on the cushion. But hey, Michael, maybe send that article to me. I might do a video on it because I do hear this from time to time. All right. Cesare says, hi, John and Christy. Christy says, hi, Cesare. John says, Cesare. Ricky's here. Hey, Ricky. Good to see you. Ricky says, hello. Cesare, well, bye, everyone. Have a nice evening, morning. Going to bed. I will listen to the rest tomorrow. Good night. Sweet dreams and happy nightmares. Michael, peace out, Cesare. Christy, flattered at. I was thinking of you. Yes, I remember that video. Yeah, that was good. Of course, I have a lot of ideas of many things I want to do, but I just don't have time right now. I think if maybe Patreon doubles, then I can do this 40 hours a week. But there's a lot of different series I want to continue. I do like the series where I was talking to practitioners. I have some teachers that are willing to meet to talk about meditation in the modern world. The only thing I'm really continuing now is the answering your questions series, because I got a lot of questions, and also the Everyday Zen series. John, sleep well, Cesare. Sweet dreams, Cesare. Anyways, if you're just joining us, here we are. Welcome to the Everyday Livestream. Let us know in the chat where you are living. And also, if you have any questions about Zen, meditation, your practice, life, any kind of question, let me know. Kevin. Thanks for that, Jason. Very much appreciate the welcome to talk. This is precisely the time to meditate more. And yes, pain as a teacher, pain as disabled filter, or as, yes, there is a pain, a choice. Ricky, do you ever do any discussions of bodhisattvas? I particularly enjoy Kwan Yen. In Korean, we say Kwan Seambosa. Ricky, did you see my last video? Last video was called Who Will Save You? Check that out. I talk about Kwan Yen. It's a story that probably nobody in this chat has heard before. And there's a reason for that. Yeah, it's canon. Korean, it's Kwan Seambosa. Kwan, perceive, say, world, sound, bodhisattva. Kwan Seambosa, the person who perceived the cries of the world, woke up, and dedicated their life to help. So yes, I definitely do. So the school I teach in, the Kwan School of Zen, School of Zen, is named after Kwan Seambosa. So it's quite a big theme in the school I teach in, just because the whole point of the practice is the Bodhisattva vow. Mr. Jetmingo. Thank you, Jason. Got to go now. Bye, everyone. All right. Take it easy. Have a clear day. Ricky, no, I didn't. Yeah, check it out. It's called Who Will Save You? I think it was my very last video. Oh, Christy, I'm here in Southern California in the Inland Empire. There's like 2 big fires. Please kindly send prayers to all the firefighters. This is a good time to say Kwan Seumbosa. Yeah, it's interesting, Christy. I live, of course, I live in the Northern California, and like you can't tell, of course, what's going on. Usually, if the fires are up north, sometimes the smoke comes down to the valley here, to the Bay Area, and also the Central Valley. But I have read just recently about these the fires in Southern California. So hopefully they'll get this under control soon. It's like, it's amazing just how many fires there are here in California. I was thinking about what to share with you all today. So what was different from my live streams in the past is I wanted to share some teaching, but I had 3 books. Squire, long time no see. I just saw Squire this morning. For morning practice, I think on my website, I post the live meditation sessions that I'm doing. You can join those at any time. Christy, yeah, many of the local districts have closed. Wow, this week. John, we remember the firefighters and chanting today. Good. Anything we can do. Actually, I'm going to tell a story. I was going to read something out of this because this book's good. If you haven't read it, check it out. Wanting enlightenment is a big mistake. I'm just thinking of fires, and I'm thinking of the Bodhisattva action. Guan Yin. Hearing the cries of the world. So there was this hummingbird. In the middle of this forest fire. And as the hummingbird looked around, the fire was just spreading very quickly. A lot of animals were fleeing or getting burned. So there was a deep sadness in this hummingbird. So when the hummingbird really felt the suffering in that moment, this hummingbird immediately flew over to a nearby pond, picked up a beak of water, went over to the forest fire, beep, dropped a little of water on this fire, went back to the pond, picked up a beak of water, beep. And this hummingbird continued to do this until it was exhausted and eventually died. Now, I think there's different versions of this story. At least that's what people tell me. I think I told this in a Dharma talk and also in one of my videos. But really, it's an interesting story because it points to, I was going to say the point of Zen practice, but that's not true. I would even say it's the point of being a human being. So earlier I talked about how everything in this universe or everything in this world is connected and responding to each other as the moment arises. And I also said that human beings also have this capability, but because of our ignorance, we separate ourselves from everything else in this world. And then the meaning of life becomes about me, or maybe it's just my family or just my friends. We don't care about anything else. So, right, this is the definition of suffering. The Buddha called it ignorance, right? Not seeing the truth of ourselves and not seeing the truth of this world, or the truth of cause and effect. So when we perceive the connection with the rest of this world, then we feel this sadness. So we talked about Kuan Yin earlier, who heard the cries of the world and then dedicated their life to help. So it's the same way with human beings. We also have this capability. If we truly connected with this world, we would just do it. We would just do something in this moment. Any other questions or comments before we go? I'm happy to see you all today. Very good turnout through the chat. Yeah, my sense is right now too, I'll probably do this live stream every other week. I do. I just thought of another story, but I might save that for the next time. Actually, I might make a video about it now that I'm thinking about it. I do have a new video coming out tomorrow. It's interesting. Somebody sent me a question. I guess they read a blog post. I don't remember doing it. It was quite some time ago. And the blog post was called I think it's called the 3 biggest meditation mistakes. So they asked me, what mistakes have I made in meditation? So that video is coming out tomorrow, so you can check it out. Ricky, thank you for that wonderful story. Very fitting. Yeah, you're welcome. It's one of my favorite stories because it really points to the essence of being a human being, to be honest. It's interesting when we first, or many people who first start practicing some kind of meditation or spiritual practice, they're trying to relieve their own suffering. We all do that. But then what happens if we're practicing correctly too, is that we start becoming more clear about ourselves and more clear about this world and seeing it clearly, right? Because I think a lot of us have some kind of filter because maybe we don't want to see something. We don't want to see the suffering. I've been giving this example a lot. Maybe you wake up, you get out of bed, and you're feeling great. You're feeling happy. You're walking down the street and you see somebody approaching you who's very sad. So most of us do what? Most of us, maybe I said some of us will do what? Oh, I don't want that mojo near me. I'm going the other way. Right? Because we're trying to hold some experience and we don't realize it's the holding that causes our dissatisfaction. So if our mind is clear, even though we're feeling happy, we see this person and then boom, our minds connect. Then you feel the sadness. This is where compassion comes from. Compassion is not an idea or belief. Some people try to believe enough in compassion so they'll be compassionate, but it comes from this connection, meaning becoming intimate with this moment. Then you feel the sadness, and from that compassion comes action. So it's like that. So after some time of practicing meditation, we start to see the truth of the world. And then we say, yeah, your suffering, I don't want to say it goes away, but maybe your suffering becomes more clear. But then you perceive the world's suffering. So it hurts even more. So you want to do something. That's all. Yes, Christy C says, see clearly equals clear suffering equals what can I do now? I mean, it's that simple. But we're too complicated. Some of us are. Ricky, a teacher once explained it is like let's see, a teacher once explained it like being at home alone. When it's just you, you may not wash the dishes and you may only make a sandwich. When you have company, though, you will fix a big meal and clean the house. This is true. I was just talking to somebody about this. I do the exact same thing. It's the same with meditation. If you're doing it only for you, you may not stick with it. But if you're doing it for others, you'll most likely keep the habit. That's true. Because it's not about us anymore. There's something always motivating us to do it. Boy, I have that too. I was just realizing that when I lived at the Providence Zen Center, I was kitchen master for many years, so cooked for a lot of people. And then when I moved to the Empty Gate Zen Center in Berkeley, I didn't cook hardly anything. I had oatmeal for breakfast, leftover soup from the retreats for lunch, and a peanut butter sandwich for dinner, and a banana every day. And now that I have a family, I'm cooking all the time. That's very interesting. Yeah, there's some motivation about it. This is bigger than us. We will soon learn that sometime or another. John reminds me of the idea a teacher had about Buddhists touching the earth. Now he'd be wiping a tear. Yeah, I talked about that in a video. I was there at that Dharma talk, and I believe it was Zen Master De Kwang, who some of you know is my teacher. It was at the Providence Zen Center. It was probably I believe it was Buddha's Enlightenment Day ceremony. And De Kwang City mentioned that, yeah, if today the Buddha was to confirm his enlightenment, it would be a tear rolling down his cheek. And that really points to, again, direction and why we are doing this. I just read a teaching today from the Compass of Zen, and it was talking about Zen Master Sung Song was talking about one of the reasons why Zen died out of China. Because remember, if you read some of the most classic koans and stories, a lot of them were teachers in China. But at some point, this is according to Zen Master Sung Song, that the Zen masters weren't, trying to say how he put it, maybe John remembers, weren't talking about the function of the truth of the moment. So Zen became very cryptic. And it was almost, if you read some of these stories too, like a word game between the elite rather than a practice that is connecting to this moment. And that's one thing about Buddhism that is interesting. It's always relevant. Now, the words themselves may be very outdated. I'm sure we can find a lot of that. But again, it's about human suffering, the reason why there is human suffering, and that there's this enlightened nature that everybody has, waking up to that enlightened nature and using it in your life from moment to moment. So it doesn't matter if you're a monastic, a lay person, a student, a business person. So I think it's important that our practice reflects this moment, rather than some great idea that happened a long time ago. John, more similarities between being a monk and being married, the cooking. Yeah. You know, it's funny, John, when I wasn't married and didn't have kids, but when I stopped being a monk, I was looking at my life and it's like, I'm still living at the Zen Center. I'm still the abbot of the Zen Center. I practice every day. I help the Zen Center. Right. So that's why, John, that's why Zen Master Sung Song encouraged people to either be a monastic or get married, right? Because then they're not just following their own idea. Yeah, people who are strong and have a clear direction, there's no problem being by themselves. That's not a problem at all. But definitely right about that. Anyways, any last questions or comments before we go? I got to make a note to share the other thing that I want to share with you, but it's time to go. Yes, became an esoteric game more than finding and using the practice. That's correct. Yeah. Risen Nation, shalom. Shalom. Very happy to see you. Christy, thank you, and stay safe, everyone. Yeah, you too, Christy. You can always come up north, Christy, and visit us. We have a room for you. But I really do. I hope it clears up over there in Southern California. Yeah, any last questions or comments before we go? Ricky, thank you. It's been wonderful. Yeah, thank you for being here. I'm glad to be doing this again. I do realize how important the live stream is. I have to thank everybody who's supporting on Patreon. Some of you are here, actually. This helps me keep this going, helps me to do live streams and to teach. So I appreciate everyone who's supporting on Patreon. Helena, great questions, great teaching. Thanks, Jason. You're welcome. Thank you, Helena. I'm very glad you're here. And again, I'm still thinking about Tosca, so Jijong Bosa. Every day, I do some chanting for her. Kevin says, take care all. John, all right. So that looks like a good sign. It looks like we're all leaving. So thank you, everyone, for being here, supporting each other. Thank you for the wonderful questions. Your sincerity, very important. Be honest with yourself. And yeah, take care of this moment. Because if you take care of this moment will take care of you. And that's because you are this moment. Thank you, everyone.